just in terms of how they've played so far, is there an inconsistency within games? Because if we were so critical, and I think across the board, everyone was hugely critical of Cork for that first 20, 25 minutes against Kilkenny, but that they came so close to overhauling the Cats towards the end. Would you point to some big inconsistency within Kilkenny in that game? And then obviously the Jekyll and Hyde performance against Offaly. I know you talked about it there a little bit, but that was far from perfect either. So, but do you put that down also to the likes of TJ Reid not being there yet, and you're like, okay, we'll accept that for now?
Look, that's part of it, but let's go back to the other end. I mean, Eric has been trying out players. We've had, Darragh Corcoran has played full back. Hugh Lawler has played full back. I think Tommy Welsh was in there full back. Various players have played at centre back as well. So there's been an inconsistency. Part of it brought out by the fact that Auckland Gales got to the club final, so he didn't want to overstretch those players, and that's the reason Paddy Dean is trying to get over a niggly injury. But it's been he brought in Jordan Malloy at left half back, was doing very well, and then he got a hand injury, so he's out of action for a period. So he's been very unfortunate in trying to put on a skill team, and I know he wants to try out players, but the trying out is going to have to start in the stop stage. And I mean, there was a very good tweet there on the screen a moment ago about this weekend could be a kind of a real, this could set the pace on what's going to happen in the league, and it will. I think that's a good statement by that texter there. But when it comes to Kilkenny, I mean, the standout player for Kilkenny throughout this league has been Adrian Mullen. I mean, he's twice nominated for Player of the Week, and he absolutely is reveling in a kind of while playing half forward, he's playing in a very free role. I mean, that means he's leaving the challenge to his marker or markers to follow him wherever he goes. And I mean, at times in match against Offaly, he was down in the cornerback position for pulling the ball out there and helping out in defence. So he's liking this roving role. He's landing 4, 5, 6 points per game, and he has absolutely become the go-to player for Kilkenny at this stage. But we do need to see a better functioning attack. It has not going well. Certainly without Adrian Mullen, I think Kilkenny would not be on. They're on 5 points at the moment and head up 1A at this stage. They're a 4-point better margin than Clare. But I think without Adrian Mullen, that would not have been the case. And he needs some of his colleagues to step up at this stage. And Derek is good. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Kilkenny team will be against Clare now, because Martin Keown hasn't been playing consistently. He's a guy I'd personally be shoving in at full forward. We're mentioning TJ, but I think we just need to chill out a bit towards TJ this year. I mean, TJ will still be an influential player, but I mean, he's 36 years of age. He's looked after himself exceptionally well, and it's unfair and unreasonable that we think TJ is just going to turn games the way he's always done it in the past. That's not reasonable at this stage. The go-to player for Kenny now is Adrian Mullen, and he's the guy we need to make sure is not injured. And we need to, again, get something into our midfield. We just haven't a consistent midfield. Mikey Carey is out there, and hopefully, I'm not sure what that query is there, as you can read the chain in a moment. But Mikey Carey has been altering between a half-back and centre. Just started midfield the last day, switched with Darragh Corcoran against Offaly. So again, Derek has an awful lot of kind of issues and his selectors as to where he's going to play people. So it's a very unsettled Kilkenny team in many respects.
The question that came in there from Colin Lyons Blind Spot was talking about Adrian Mullen. Is he a half forward or a midfielder? Like, I would say that he's a bit of a roaming player, could probably play anywhere really, but has he always roamed like this, Nicky? Maybe you want to directly answer, is he a midfielder or a half forward, but has he always been good at roaming?
Adrian Mullen wants to play half forward. He doesn't want, if he's a mid, he has freedom to do things as a half forward, I think. And maybe not, as a midfielder, maybe he's more obliged to put on a defensive role. But as a half forward, he can roam wherever he wants and let the marker let the marker worry about where he is. And he can do things. And the other thing as well is if Mullen is on the ball, he has great vision. He's particularly when he gets the ball, watch the way Owen Cody will run into space to expect that pass. And a few scores already in this league have come up because of, they're club players with Shamrocks Ballyhale, of course, that's a big factor. But I think Kilkenny get the most out of Adrian Mullen, probably as a half forward. But there's plenty in Kilkenny. The listener there is on the ball. There's plenty in Kilkenny who could see him as a midfielder. In fact, Shane, I'll go so further, there's plenty my team as a centre half, in fact. But I think for now, it needs to be half forward in that roving role because he's able to bring others into the game apart from his scoring himself. And he can wander back around midfield, half back, if and when he feels that's necessary also. He has that freedom. And I think that's what he likes at the moment.